opportunity with us in inviting some of the musicians from the Lethbridge Symphony to play some music for you today. How many of you know what an orchestra is? Anybody? A couple of people? Okay. So these are just some of the musicians from our orchestra. And sometimes you'll see 60 people playing music together. Sometimes you might even see 75 or more. So there's lots of different instruments, and this is called a string quartet. The quartet's going to play some music today. They'll answer some questions, and they'll be able to tell you a little bit more about what they do. So again, thank you for coming, and I hope you enjoy the music today.
I played the violin, My friends here are Lise. She plays the violin as well. See, they're the same size instruments. They're the smallest instruments of the violin family. They're all members of the same family. And next we have the viola. It's a little bigger than the violin. We share some of the same strings. Push yours up together so you can see it.
Oh.
Bigger it is, yes. And then over here we have the cello. Now that's Mark, and that was Gabe. Gabe on the viola, Mark on the cello. In the symphony orchestra we have 3 types of instruments. The string instruments, which make up at least half the orchestra. I lead one section of the violins and leads the other section. Gabe leads the viola section and Mark the cello section. We also have the double bass section, which double bass is as big as a doghouse, bigger than a person. Then we also have blowers, instruments that make their sound by blowing into them. The woodwind instruments and the brass instruments. Flutes and oboes and bassoons, clarinets, trumpets, trombones, tubas. And then we have the percussion instruments. Those are people that hit things to make a sound. The timpani and the xylophone, and the triangle, and things like that. So we're going to focus on the string instruments today. And to help us do that, you see they all work the same way. They have 4 strings. And to make them sound bigger, we have these lovely magic boxes that are made very carefully by instrument makers. These instruments have been around for about 500 years. They were first came about in northern Italy during the period called the Renaissance, a sort of rebirth of learning and scientific discovery and all that sort of thing. So resonance is what gives these things their sound. I'm going to just demonstrate something on a violin that one of our former violinists made. Call it the special. It has a string, it has a bridge, it has a fingerboard sort of, and it sounds like this. That doesn't sound very good, does it? So this hollow, elegantly carved little wooden box is what makes the sound come out of the instrument. And you saw how we're producing that sound. And Lisa's going to talk a little bit about this object later on, but the next piece we're going to play uses a different technique for producing sound on the string instruments, and just watch for it. Oh, by the way, the first piece was by a very famous composer, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, an Austrian composer, lived about 300 years ago. And that was from his piece called The Little Night Music. And we're going to go next to a composer who died about 100 years ago. This year's name is Claude Debussy, a French composer. And this is from his one and only string quartet. Usually there are 4 movements. This is the second movement of that quartet. And we're going to play it for you now. And listen for how we produce another way we can make sounds besides using this magic wand.
Oh,
What's that?
All right. Now, as Norbert mentioned, my name is Gabe. And please forgive me. I have a little bit of a frog in my throat today. But I'm going to be doing the best I can. Hopefully, can you all hear me okay? Good, good. We try to keep it at that level. The next thing that we're going to show you today is a special kind of a piece that's called a cannon. And that goes boom. It's a very different kind of a cannon. In music, a cannon is a special kind of piece where we play the same notes, but we start in different places. So we'll have the same thing going, but you'll hear it in sort of each enter one after the other. Now, some of you might have done cannons before, maybe you didn't know it. There's one very famous canon that's a little nursery rhyme song that you probably all know. Do you know the song, Row, Row, Row Your Boat? Yes? Excellent. Do you think that you could do a canon with me right now? Could we try that? What if we split our room in half? What if we had this side of the room over here? This is group number one. And then we had this side of the room over here. This is group number two. Now, group number two, you're a little smaller, so you're really going to have to sing. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start singing Row, Row, Row Your Boat over here with group number one. And group number two, you guys wait, because you'll have your turn soon. So, be ready. I am going to give you the signal when it's your turn. But we're going to try doing this all together now, not too quickly, so it's a little easy. Shall we try it? Ready, group number one? We're going to sing Row, Row, Row Your Boat. We're going to sing it like this. Row, row, row your boat. Okay, good. All together, are we ready? And row, row, row your boat. Row, row, row your boat. Gently down the stream. That's great. Very nice. Now, we're going to do a canon for you guys, written by a composer named Paco Bell, and this is a very famous piece. Now, I want you to watch carefully, because at the start, Mark on the cello, he's going to play a little introduction for us, but then we're going to start with the canon, and it's going to start with Norbert, and then it's going to be Lise, and then it's going to be my turn. I go last. So you watch. I'm going to try to point for you so you can see when each part enters the canon. So you listen and see if you can tell when each person comes in. Okay, here we go.
And there's some hair here. Do you know what this hair is made of? What animal? Can you tell me? Yes, a horse. It's from the tail of a horse. And why does it make this sound? Because on the hair, there's a whole bunch of little, the word in English.
Scales?
Is that good? Hooks. With a French word.
Grippers.
Hooks, yes, thank you. Hooks, little hooks all over on those hairs. And when they put it across the string, it gently pulls all the strings so that it can vibrate and make the sound around on the violin. Thank you. So music is so important in our lives. It's so important for the world. It does all sorts of wonderful things for us, right? So it can make you dance, right? Music can make you dance. It can make you feel things. So it can make you feel sad, it can make you feel happy, and it can also help you to remember things. So, for instance, what does that make you think of? It helps you to remember things. What about this one? Makes you remember your birthday, etc. But what's most important about the music is that it creates, if you have imagination, you can create all kinds of things in your mind. And these instruments are so amazing, and composers can write things for us to imitate, like animals, for instance. So we're going to play for you a few pieces right now, and I would like you to imagine what kind of animal we are trying to imitate. I'm going to come back and ask you, okay? So think really hard.
Hello, my name is Mark, and my animal is bigger than a donkey. The animal that I'm going to play about is well, you just listen and guess, and I'll ask you after if you can guess which animal I'm playing about.
So listen, this is about a different animal, and you guys are on fire. You're guessing these great. This one is from a movie about an animal, so really listen closely.
And then we can talk about it.
Kurt from maybe back here? Yes? The Lion King. Yes, right. Excuse me. Yes, the Lion King. Absolutely. Very good. You knew it too? That's good. So yes, of course, we have all kinds of different music, right? You have music that you go to a concert hall to hear, and music to dance to, and music on the radio, and even music in the elevator. But another thing that we use music for is in the movies. Yes? And movie music is very, very important. It really helps to set the mood for the movie. And a lot of you, I'm sure, when you think of certain movies, you can't help but think of the music right away. So, we're going to do a little bit more guessing. We have some movie music for you guys to guess. We have 2 pieces of movie music. So let's see if you guys can guess these ones. Star Wars, absolutely. Every Star Wars movie has to start with that tune, doesn't it? Yes. All right, very good. And that's written by a very famous composer named John Williams. And he wrote just a ton of music for movies. He's a very, very good composer. Now, we actually have one more piece by the same guy, believe it or not, but for a totally different movie. So let's see if you can guess this one.
Maybe before we play our last bit, yeah, go ahead.
Since this is our last piece, we want to take some questions from the audience if you have it. Questions about our instruments or about the music or the orchestra.
Have you played songs from different movies?
Oh, quite a few. Yeah, the symphony actually is part of our main series concerts. We have about every 2 years we do a complete concert of music from the movies, right, Glenn? Is there a conductor out there? Yes. We have one this season. Yes?
Why do you put the violins on your neck?
Why do we put them on our necks? Because that's the way they've always been performed. These instruments are small enough that we can tuck them under our chin to play them. Whereas the cello and the double bass, you have to stand up
Try to put your cello
or sit down. Or, yeah, try to see if you can put your cello under your chin there. These instruments, I said they came about in the year 1500. Before that time, there were other instruments, like one called the rebec that was in use, and it was sort of held kind of here as well. So it just evolved over many, many centuries how they're held. Sometimes I wish I could hold mine this way because my neck gets sore or my arm gets sore, and it's a little bit awkward holding an instrument this way for over 60 years.
So how did you decide to play the violin? What made you decide that?
I guess my parents, my father was an immigrant from Europe, and he played the violin. He played a smattering of other instruments. Was a jack of all trades. And actually, someone at that time in Edmonton came around selling music lessons door to door. And I got signed up, and I'm still here doing that.
So usually it's somebody that's passed away the love of it.
No.
Yeah.
No, not?
No,
Yeah.
no.
No?
No, it's something, so for some children, it's something they just want to do. They see it somewhere, they fall in love with how it looks, and they just have that desire, that inner desire to just do that. That's what happened to me.
Yeah?
And I do have a few students that are like that, where it just comes out of the blue, and the child keeps asking for it. So take that seriously.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, nowadays, children start as young as 3 and 4 years old. So I was back in about 1960. I was 8 years old when I started. So that was kind of normal in those days, but nowadays it's much younger.
Okay.
Is there a difference between the fiddle and the violin?
The joke goes that you can spill beer on the fiddle and nobody cares. It's the same instrument, it's just a different style of music. Matter of fact, the violin is used around the world. In India, it's supported on the toe. I think it's playing music, and of course in Scotland and England we have a tradition of fiddle music there. And when those settlers came to North America, we have a whole bunch of Red River Valley Appalachian, what's it called? Métis fiddling style. And of course, bluegrass music uses so the instruments of this family are very, very versatile. All right, I think we're ready for our last piece. I'm sure you'll know what it is. Make you guess again. And thank you for coming out this afternoon. And in spite of this COVID business, it's wonderful to be playing music again in front of a live audience. So thank you so much. Do we have more questions?
I think I know what the song is.
Oh, okay. What was it?
Harry Potter.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for coming today. We really appreciate it.